Welcome guys, today's our lecture will be about arches. We will discuss about its introduction, the general proof of arch formula, types of arches like parabolic and circular, and some practice problems. Arches. What is an arch? An arch is a structure whose general outline is curved in nature. Okay, so this is an arch, you can see, and its general outline is curved. Okay, till now you have discussed beams, columns in a rigid frame structure, and elements of trusses. All of them were straight, right? uh, uh, in cables, the cable that was subjected to point load was also considered as a straight uh, object between two loads. However, the cables that were subjected to UDL, those were only considered as a parabolic or semicircular. An arch is a structure which under vertical loads produces inclined reactions at both supports. Okay, so this is your first support, hinge support A, and this is your hinge support B. Okay, the horizontal distance between support A and support B is span, and it is called as L, right? The point C is the center of the arch, uh, both horizontally, and it is the central rise, the maximum rise of the arch vertically. Okay, and this is also a hinge. Why it is hinge, we will discuss it in detail. The distance of point C from A and B is equal, and that is half of the length, so it is in the center horizontally. So the reactions at both the supports are what? Inclined. For example, the reactions will be like this. And why these are like this? Because of the outline. As you can see that the outline of the arch at the support is not vertical and not horizontal, it is in between it. So the reaction should be against this applied load coming from the arch. Okay, so at both the supports the inclined reactions will be produced. Continuing with the introduction, arch is a curved structure or humped beam. Okay, so this is a new thing, that it is a humped beam, primarily bears the applied loads by compression. So please keep in mind that arch resists the applied load by compression. Okay, the hinge introduced anywhere in the arch makes the structure determinate, as both supports are assumed to be hinged. For example, both the supports A and B are hinged, so there are four unknowns, right? Vertical reaction at A, horizontal at A, vertical at B, and horizontal at B. So there are four unknowns and three available equilibrium equations. So the structure is 1 degree of indeterminacy. But introducing an internal hinge at point C will give you an extra equation, that will be summation of moment at C is equal to 0. So that will make the arch as statically determinate. Okay, and the second is hinge introduced in the arch provides a further equation to analyze the arch, that is moment of all forces about hinge is equal to 0. Normally the third hinge is introduced at the topmost point on the arch curve, that is known as crown. So the topmost point of the arch, which is called as crown, we introduce an internal hinge at this point. Okay, and the height of this point is called rise, and we denote it, we designate it by YC. Okay, now we have different types of arches: 3-hinged arch, 2-hinged arch, and fixed arches. Okay, now 3-hinged arches are statically determinate, as I explained to you. Hence horizontal displacement of the abutments does not produce any additional stresses on the structural system. Okay, this is about 3-hinged arches. What about 2-hinged arches? The 2-hinged arches and the fixed arches are statically indeterminate. Hence displacement of the abutments produces additional stresses in the structural system. Furthermore, foundations of such arches should be on rock or on very solid gravel. Okay, we will discuss these things in detail. Okay, don't worry. Now one can solve the arch as beam if we know the horizontal reactions at various supports. Okay, if you know the horizontal supports, then you can solve the arch as a beam. And how? We will discuss it. With the help of third hinge, we can easily determine the horizontal reactions and hence the arch can be analyzed. Okay, so here it was saying that we can solve it as a beam, and here it is showing you how. With the help of this third hinge, you can easily determine these horizontal reactions, and when you can determine these horizontal reactions like we have said over here, then you can solve the arch as beam. Classification of arches based on materials used for construction. There are different types of materials used in arches. For example, arches made up of steel, RCC, masonry arches, etc. On the basis of shape, there are parabolic arches, circular or segmental arches, elliptical arches, etc. Based on structural behavior, there are three hinged arches, and I have highlighted it with the red because it is statically determinate. All others are statically indeterminate. Two hinged arches, fixed or hingeless arches, fixed arch with a hinge. Okay, so these all are indeterminate arches. Based on structural behavior, for example, open arches, solid arches, etc. Now in arch there are different types of forces at any section. Okay, for example, you have taken a section at point E. This is your point E, which is between A and C, right? Your C was here. Now you have taken a point E, and you have to determine the bending moment, the normal thrust N, and the radial shear S. So basically you have to determine these three factors or these three forces at any section in the arch. Okay, so let's discuss this section at point E. So you can see that the S, which is your radial shear, is this theta if you are taking this one or taking this one, right? Your normal thrust N is this, shown with the green this arrow, right? This is your normal thrust N, and at 90 degree this will be your normal thrust, right? And your bending moment M, which they haven't showed here, I think. So this will be your bending moment if there is any bending moment, right? So please keep in mind that to the arch, one is tangent to the arch and other is normal to the arch. So these are tangent to the arch and these are normal to the arch. Okay, these are the reactions at a support VA and HA, and when you take the resultant of these two reactions, the resultant will be like this. So it is similar to the first slide that I told you that at a support the reactions will be in the which direction? Inclined direction, right? We will explain these things, just don't get confused at this point. Okay, now difference between beams and arches. What are differences? So number one is beams that transfers the applied load to end supports by bending and shear action, purely bending and shear action. Okay, no compression in beams. However, arches transfer the applied load to end supports partly by axial compression and partly by flexure. Okay, number second, in the process of transferring loads at a particular section subjected to maximum load, maximum stresses. However, the arch is in the process of transferring loads any part of the section subjected to equal stresses. Okay, so in arches the stresses are equal. However, in beams stresses varies, as we know that in a simply supported beam the flexural stresses or bending moment is maximum in the center and minimum at the supports. However, the shear force is maximum at support and minimum at the center. Number third is the material in most of the portion is under stress and hence the section is underutilized, right? However, in arches, due to the equal distribution of stress, the section is fully utilized because here the stresses are equal, so fully section is utilized. Here your stresses are varying, so it is underutilized. One section will be utilized at one time, however the other one will not be utilized at the same time for the same kind of stresses. Number four, very uneconomical for larger spans. self weight of beam itself contributes to larger stresses. Okay. However, it is very economical for larger spans as self weight of arches are comparatively low. And the other thing is the arch action that is helping in providing the larger spans. Number 5, bending moment at any section is very high for a given span as we already know it. However, here bending moment at any section is considerably less compared to beams of same span. For example, if you have a beam of 20 feet, then if the bending moment in the beam depending upon applied load is, let's suppose, 200, then the bending moment in the arch will be maybe up to 50 or 40. So these are the formulas for bending moment in beam: W into X. However, here is W into X minus H into Y. So what is H? That is the horizontal thrust. Now these are different types of bridges, or bridge made up of different types of structures, and at the top are different forces. For example, the orange one is tension force, the purple one is compression force. This, if this is yellow, then this is orange, this is supporting reactions, and the red one is load. Okay, so first one, the bridge is made up of beam. So you can see that at the bottom section there is tension because this portion will act like simply supported beam, and top portion is in compression. These are the reactions, and this is applied load. Same is the case in arch. This is your arch, right? There is only compression in the arch. You can see no tension in the arch, right? There are reactions at the supports and the applied load. The suspension bridge, in the cables there is tension, there is a reaction under towers and at the abutments, right? There is no compression in suspension bridge, and also there is no compression in this cable straight bridge. It is more or less similar to suspension bridge. The applied load, tension in the cables, the reactions at the towers and at the abutments. This is cantilever. See, this portion is holding this beam, or what you can say, the girder or the deck slab, in a cantilever way. So there is a compression at the bottom and tension at the top. It is opposite to that of simple beam. So these are your different types of bridges, or different types of techniques used to construct a bridge. Now forces. There is compression or pushing or squeezing force, okay, and there is a tension, a pulling or stretching force, right? Now construction of an arch. What is construction of an arch? How you construct an arch? See, this is your arch and there will be a keystone. Without a keystone the arch is incomplete. So what is keystone? This is your keystone, the wedge shaped stone of an arch that locks its parts together. So how did you start constructing an arch? You have started arch from both the sides simultaneously. It is not constructed like you have started the arch from one side and then you have completed in the other way. Okay, that is not the way how the arch is constructed. You have started constructing the arch from one side and the other side simultaneously, and when you have reached at this point from both the sides, you have just to put the keystone so that it locks the arch. Abutments, the structures that support the ends of the bridge or the arch. So as you can see that there is a big inclined reaction at the support. Okay, so as we have seen that this support or this reaction has two components, the vertical component and the horizontal component. So this horizontal component need to be resisted by a very strong structure that we called as abutment. Now arch work by compression. See, from the arrows you can see that the keystone locks itself and inserts compression from right wing, and compression from left wing, and compression from the keystone itself is locking them. Also the compression coming from the reaction from the arch and the reaction from the abatement. So these all compression phenomena are locking the arch and making it firm and stable. This is an example. Cold Spring Arch Bridge, Santa Barbara, CA. What is CA? California. Now this is cable stayed bridges. See, this is how you construct cable stayed bridges. The red one are the piers, the green is the cable, and this is deck. Cable stayed bridge works by tension and compression, right? See, in the cables there is a tension, and in the piers there is compression. Also in the deck there is compression and tension, right? Suspension bridge, it is similar to cable stayed bridge, it's different construction method, however mechanism is same. See, this is the method of construction, and this is your phenomena. Now let's apply this load. Okay, load is applied. See, the tension, the compression, and the reactions, right? Now having discussed different things, coming to the arch formulas, consider an arch ACB. This is A, this is C, this is B. Okay, so this arch is hinged at point A, at point B, because these are hinge supports, and there is a C point, right? This is the crown point or the internal hinge point, right? L is the horizontal span and YC is the central rise. So L is your horizontal distance between the two supports, and YC is your central rise, the rise of the maximum point C, right? Now obtain the vertical reactions VA and VB at the ends as usual. So as I told you that at hinge support you will have two reactions, for example V, right, and H. So at both the supports A and B you can get VA and VB. Right? To find the horizontal thrust, the MC, the moment at central hinge, must be 0. So the moment at this point C, it should be 0 in order to get this horizontal thrust, right? Now to find horizontal thrust H, the horizontal thrust MC, the moment at central hinge must be known, and we know that it is 0. So the formula for MC is equal to mu C plus H into YC is equal to 0. See, this is your H and this is your perpendicular distance Y. So if you are taking section at point C or taking moment about point C, so MC is equal to this H into this YC plus mu C, and it should be equal to MC, which is 0 because it is internal hinge, right? And solving this equation will gives us H is equal to minus mu C divided by YC. This is your equation number 1. Now we can find moment at any cross section X. See, this is at point specific point C, which is internal hinge, right? But you can find it at any section, for example over here or right here or right here. You can find it at any distance X from the support A. So you put the value of X and you get your answer. So Mx is equal to, put X instead of C, is equal to mu X plus H into Y. Y will be the vertical distance of that point. For example, if you are taking this, so this is Y, right? Now the vertical and horizontal actions on the section considering the portion AX arc. This is your arc AX, right? This is point X and this is its vertical distance Y. This is applied load W1 W2, which is a part of UDL applied on the arch. These are the reactions, vertical reaction and horizontal reaction at the support. Now if you want to draw a tangent at point x, so draw a tangent at point x and it will cut the horizontal at this point at an angle theta. Okay, theta is the angle of tangent at point x. So what it says that take this arc AX. Now vertical reaction can be found out by vertical shear force at the section as for a straight horizontal beam. So vertical reaction is equal to VA, which is this, minus W1 minus W2. So the rest will be your shear force at section X, right? So V at X is equal to VA minus W1 minus W2. And the horizontal thrust at both ends is same, as we already know it, that H should be equal to H. So this H should be equal to the H at X. Okay, now consider this and split this into two portions. Number one is this and second one is this, right? Considering these two, so take it, consider this one first. This is your H, right? The H, the horizontal thrust at the support. This is your H and it has two components. One will be along this and other will be perpendicular. See, this figure is drawn here, right? So this H is split into two components, H cos theta and H sin theta, right? And take this vertical reaction V, right? This is your vertical reaction V, and split it into two components. This will be your V cos theta and this is your V sin theta. Now in order to find this P and F, P is equal to, see this H cos theta, right, and it is in opposite direction, plus V sin theta, this is also in opposite direction. So P is equal to H cos theta plus V sin theta, and F, this F is equal to H sin theta, as this is opposite direction, minus V cos theta, it is in the same direction of the F. So these are your equation 3 and 4. Please keep in mind these two equations, that P and F are in terms of H and V. Now what it says, that draw the tangent as I explained you before, that draw a tangent at X to the central line of the arch and let its inclination to the horizontal must be theta. So this is your equation 3, this is your equation 4. So I already explained it in detail, and if you want to get the resultant, then T is the resultant, it is equal to V square plus H square under root, or simultaneously you can take it as under root P square plus F square, right? Now considering the parabolic arch, so if the three hinged arch is parabolic in shape and if it carries a UDL over the entire span, then every action of the arch will be pure in compression. Okay, it's resisting only a normal thrust and there will be no shear force nor bending moment at the section. So if these requirements fulfills, then these will be the answers. The linear arch for a given load system on an arch represents the mu diagram. If you remember, there was a term mu, right? Now we will see what mu is. With a UDL over the entire span, the mu diagram is a parabola. The linear arch, which is parabolic, will then have 3 points at the hinges in common with the central line of the actual arch, which is also parabolic. Okay, the linear arch will therefore be identical with the actual arch. For any other load or loading on a parabolic arch, there will be 3 straining actions, that is P, F and M at any section. If you remember these 3, see this P, this F and the bending moment M, right? To obtain the bending moment, it will be necessary to calculate the rise at any section of the arch. So the point that you are interested in, its horizontal and vertical distance should be known to you. Now This is the vertical distance or the vertical location of the point. Y is equal to lambda x into 1 into L minus x, where lambda is cosine. I am sorry. Lambda is a constant. Okay. It may also be noted that at quarter points where x is L by 4, the rise will be equal to 3 by 4 of total rise, right? Now lambda is constant, and this is your equation for the lambda. X is equal to L by 2, so your y will be equal to yc, right? And yc is equal to lambda into L by 2 into L by 2, so therefore lambda is equal to 4yc divided by L square. Now from here you can find out lambda, which is a function of the rise of the middle point and the total span length of the arch. So you can put the value of lambda in it. So your y is equal to 4yc divided by L square, which is your lambda, into x into L minus x. And differentiating this equation with respect to x, where dy by dx is tangent theta, and this is equal to differentiating it will give you 4 into yc divided by L square into L minus 2x, right? So this was about parabolic arch. Now the circular arch. This is your circular arch, right? A, C and B, and the radius of this arch is for example, it is constant throughout, right? It haven't given any name to the radius, I guess. The angle between this line OC and OA is alpha, and any point x that you have taken on the arch, so you draw a chord and the angle between this and OC is theta. The distance is x. Okay, please keep in mind that in the previous arch, for example in the parabolic arch, you were taking the distance from point A, from this support, right? However, in the circular arch you are taking it from the center. See, x is the distance from the center, right? If the center line of the arch is a segment of a circle of radius r, here they haven't represented radius r. However, if this is an arch and the radius is constant r, it is more convenient to have the origin at D. So the origin will be at D, right? This is the radius and it is constant throughout. For example, distance from this point to this point will be equal to distance from this point to this point, right? If it is a circular arch. The middle of this span. So let x, y be the coordinates of a section. In this case, your OA and OB is equal to arch. This is your OA and this is your OB, right? These are your two lines and this is equal to r. So this is your radius r. AD is equal to DB is equal to L by 2. Similarly, AD is L by 2 and also DB is L by 2. DC is equal to YC, we know very well, DC is equal to YC. OY is equal to OD plus DY. OY, this is O and this is Y, is equal to OD plus DY, right? And this is equal to, as you know, that OD is equal to R and DY is equal to YC. So R minus YC plus Y, OD is equal to R minus YC. See, OD is your this R minus this YC, okay? R minus YC and your DY is equal to Y. And XY is equal to X. What is XY? This XY. This is equal to small x. Now, as we know that OX square is equal to OY square plus XY square. This is your OX of a triangle. For example, if this is a hypotenuse, this is the perpendicular and this is the base. So OX square is equal to OY square plus XY square. Here you know that OX is radius r xy is x and oy is, as you already know that oy is this, which is equal to r minus yc plus y, and taking square of it. So solving this will give you yc into 2r minus yc is equal to l square by 4. As we know that sine alpha, you know which is alpha, this is alpha, right, the angle between OA and OD or OC. Sine alpha is equal to perpendicular divided by hypotenuse, and is equal to L divided by 2R. Similarly, cos alpha is equal to base divided by hypotenuse, and is equal to R minus YC divided by R. X is equal to OX sin theta, which is equal to R sin theta. Y is equal to OY minus OD, which is equal to R cos theta minus R cos alpha. And Y is equal to, taking R common, so cos theta minus cos alpha, right. So these were the some basic formulas for circular arch and the parabolic arch. Now we are moving to prove the steps involved in analysis of the three hinged arches. So step number 1 is to draw the free body diagram including all the forces, dimensions and reactions, right. Number 2, calculate the support reactions using equilibrium conditions. Number 3, okay, this is a part of step number 2, that use the equilibrium equations and find the reactions, for example VB, VA, HA, HB. Step number 3 is find maximum positive bending moment, that is MXX is equal to VA into X minus HA into Y minus W into X into X by 2, which is the UDL applied. So first is Y is equal to 4HX divided by L square into L minus X. Find value of X by using this condition and substitute the value in moment equation and calculate the bending moment, right. Step number 4 is then use the same procedure to find negative bending moment. You found the positive bending moment, then find negative bending moment. Step number 5 is find normal thrust and radial shear at any point of the arch is given by, for example, normal thrust is find out by V sin theta plus H cos theta, and the radial shear is find out by V cos theta plus H sin theta, where theta can be calculated as dy by dx is equal to tangent theta, and it has this formula. And finally draw the bending moment diagram for the given arch. Okay, once you get the bending moment. Now coming to the problems or the solved example. So consider a 3-hinged parabolic arch of span 60 meter. The span is 60 meter and rise of 8 meter. The rise is 8 meter. A UDL of intensity 20 kilonewton per meter over the left half span is applied. Okay, now calculate what support reactions, which is VA, HA, VB, HB, right. The bending moment at 25 meter from the left, this is left and this is 25 meter. The center is at 30 meter. Okay, maximum positive bending moment, maximum negative bending moment, and normal thrust and radial shear at left quarter span. Okay, all these you have to be determined in the left quarter span. Quarter means 1/4. Also sketch the bending moment diagram of the arch. So you have to draw the bending moment diagram as well. Now step number 1 to find the support reactions using the equilibrium equation, summation of moment about A. This is your point A, which is hinge, and moment should be 0 about this point, right. So VB into 60 minus 20 into 30 into 30 divided by 2. See, only VB is acting because HB is also passing through this point and 20 kilonewton is acting on it. So this is your VB, which is 150 kilonewton. Similarly, using summation of V is equal to 0 and VA plus VB minus the downward force, which is UDL, is equal to this much, and putting VB in this equation will gives you VA of 450 kilonewton. Using third equation, moment at point C, this point C, the moment at this point is 0. Then RB into 30 minus HB into 8 is equal to 0. We are taking this side, okay, not this side. Take moment about this point equal to 0 and take this side only. So you will be able to find the HB. So you get HB. And the fourth equation, summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0, HA minus HB is equal to 0, so HA is equal to HB, right? So your first step is done, you have found the reactions. The second step, to find bending moment at 25 meter from left support. So using the equation, we have determined mxx is equal to VA into 25 minus HA into YD minus 20 into 25 into 25 divided by 2. Now please keep in mind that here you are using the UDL at a span of 25, not 30. See, here you have used it at a span of 30, right? But why? Because the whole half of the arch was taken. Now you are talking about point D, and only this load is acting up to point D coming from left support A, right? So you are using the length of 25. So from here you will be able to get an equation which is be equal to YD is equal to 4 into HX divided by L square into L minus X. To find maximum positive bending moment, Y is equal to, using this equation, differentiating it with respect to X, that will be equal to 0. Finding negative bending moment using the same equation, right, and differentiating it with respect to X and taking it 0. To find normal thrust and radial shear, the normal thrust is given by this equation and the radial shear is given by this equation. And finally draw the bending moment diagram. So these are the steps and how to solve the problems using these steps, okay? And similarly you can find it for circular or segmental arches. Now in the next video I will solve different problems regarding the arches, and you will better be able to understand how to analyze the arches, okay? So see you in next video. Thank you.